Hey KingsGate Kids! We've just seen how God called Gideon to do something extraordinary for him. When Gideon first marched out, he might have felt scared, but he had his army to back him up. Imagine how he felt when God whittled down his army by 22,000. That's massive. And then even further, so that he only had 300 men remaining. Now, I don't know about you, but I would have been so scared I would have got up and ran home. And when we look at the whole story of Gideon, we actually see he was also just as terrified. We can find the entire story in our Bibles, starting at the book of Judges, chapter 6. We see that Gideon didn't only have to face the enemy, but he had to face his own people as well, because the Israelites were worshipping other gods at the time, one in particular called Baal. And Gideon had to tear down an altar which his own father had built to Baal. Gideon was so scared to do this that he did it in the middle of the night, when no one could see him, when no one was watching. The next morning, when the people found out what he had done, they were furious with him. Now that's not a great start for someone who was meant to raise an army. And even later on, when Gideon had his army, he was about to go into battle like God instructed. But he stalled. He was having doubts. He was doubting God. He was so scared in that moment that he asked God several times to prove himself to him, to prove that God was there for him, to prove that God would help him. Well, we know that God delivered. God showed himself to be super powerful. In the end, he was only looking for someone who would obey him and trust him. He wasn't looking for someone who was perfect, and Gideon was certainly not the perfect army commander. That's usually the case today. God doesn't usually show us what the final outcome may be in something he has planned for us. But we have to trust him step by step. Here at KingsGate Kids, we've just launched our 60-second superstar competition, and I was wondering whether you were thinking about giving it a go. God is looking for his superstar. He is looking for young people like you to step out for him today. So record something, give it a go. It doesn't have to be perfect. And if you're feeling unsure or nervous, pray and ask God to show you what he would have you do for the competition. Big things come from small beginnings. We've already seen how David started off tending his sheep and he ended up tending a nation. So I look forward to see how you will do something today that will lead to something big for God.